Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. Every single Tuesday, I sit with my friend Sean over here from Catalyst Systems Training. Is it Catalyst Systems?
Catalyst training.
Training Systems. See? Catalyst Training Systems to answer some fitness questions. I got some awesome questions today that I'm really curious about, and I really want to know Sean's answers to these. Sean, how's it going?
Great. And you?
Great. Good. Good. It's I'm at home today, so I'm hoping that the internet connection is actually better. I think so far so good. We're doing well.
Yeah, both at home. Better internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, Sean. Ready for the first question?
Yep.
Okay. The first question is, this might be a tough one for you, but I want to know the best fitness advice you've ever received.
I think okay, so the advice that I got was from my mentor.
Okay.
But it wasn't specifically for training. So but I feel like it applies to both. So I
Okay.
asked him in the context of what's like I was at the end of my internship and what's the best piece of advice you can give me going forward with my career in the fitness industry. And he said actually give a shit about what you're doing, right? So I think that is also the best advice that I could apply to fitness in general as well. And that's probably the best advice that anyone can get, is because if you don't actually give a shit, or if you don't actually care, you're not going to do what's necessary to be done. So a lot of people will have a goal and fitness wise, and they want to lose a bunch of weight and stuff. But if they're not actually caring about it every single day and doing those actions that they need to do, they're not going to get to their goal. And I think it starts with actually caring or actually giving a shit, and then that'll trickle down into everything else you need to do.
Oh, that is so good, Sean. It's so true. I think that's the way I operate every single day. Everything that I do, I actually give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't give a shit about something, I just wouldn't do it. Like there's no point. And then it goes back to, are you moving in the direction in which you feel like you're going to grow? If you don't give a shit about something, why is that? What is happening? And then for you, I think it's a great point for your company, Catalyst Training Systems. I said it the other way around. Catalyst Training Systems is, I'm an outsider looking into your company. And for me, I feel like your company has grown pretty fast. I don't know if that's actually, what do you think?
I think we've expanded decently fast. Obviously, I would like it to grow faster. Every business owner would like to grow faster. But I think we've expanded a couple times so far in 4 years, and we're decently a decent pace of growth in terms of people or getting to next steps, getting into a bigger space and things like that.
Yeah. And that's huge because majority of businesses will fail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth in the entrepreneurship world. I think there's different types of percentage. I think it's 90% of businesses will fail. So for you to just be afloat is a massive success. And then on top of that, you're expanding. And I think it boils it down to that point that you made earlier, is that you actually give a shit. You care about your clients, you care about your gym, you care about everything that you do. So that's important. And that goes for everybody who has a business. You have to care.
Yeah.
Every single person that walks in, you have to care.
Yeah, you have to care enough to one, deal with the day-to-day ongoing that as an entrepreneur, the stuff that you don't get paid for, and the stuff that maybe no one sees you have to do, right? And if you don't give a shit about your business, you're not going to do those things. You're only going to do them when you're on the clock or or when it's convenient to do them. But if you actually care, you have to take initiative to do all these things. And it's like fitness too. It's like if you actually care, you have to take initiative to like prep your food, or you have to take
Yes.
initiative to track whatever you need to track, or like put your clothes in your bag so you don't like have an excuse to not go to the gym in the evening. Like you have to take all these little steps, but no one pays you for that. You don't get results immediately for like prepping your food or packing your clothes or things like that. But it all builds up to one thing. But you actually have to give a shit, and you actually have to care about
Yeah.
doing things, all the things that need to be done.
That's so important because it's that point that you made. A lot of things that you don't get paid for, right? You see on the surface. So for me, I have a coaching service that I started,
Mm-hmm.
and I did 100 free coaching sessions before I actually started charging for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about it in terms of your fitness industry, but to me, it's so natural because in the beginning, you're not, you have knowledge, you give value, but are you giving enough value to charge for it? So I set out to do 100 free coaching sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it was such a natural thing to do, but I don't know how many people out there would actually do that. Like it's a lot of free stuff. So I just kind of want to get your opinion on it too, and how you got started with your training. Did you do free sessions, or are you in a school of thought that you have to get paid for it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did lots of free stuff, and like I'm fully like on board with that. I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And again, like that's another thing. One of my mentors said, like the same guy. He gave me the advice as to like if you want to get good at something and you want to like get better at something, like do it for free. And in the beginning, like yes, you have knowledge, you're a coach, but if you've never built up like a portfolio of people that you've helped, and like it's part of like I guess fine tuning and sharpening your own skills,
Mm-hmm.
to do it for free like over and over and over again. And that's a great way of getting people in front of you, helping people. And because word of mouth is kind of the best referral. So like we did a lot of stuff for free, and we still do stuff for free at our business, because like it helps us get better, but it also it allows people to kind of try what we're offering and for themselves if it appeals to them.
Yeah, that's and it goes back to your first point too. Just because you're doing something for free doesn't mean that you're not going to give a shit. You have to treat it like this person is paying you $1 million to do this.
Exactly.
And that was a mentality that I went in doing. It's like, I am going to provide so much value, and I'm going to make this an incredible experience that they're going to come back and ask me, how much are you going to charge? And it didn't happen. It did not happen for the first 50 free sessions. And then after like around the 50th point, that's when someone came back to me and said, you know what, I really want to keep you as an ongoing coach. How much are you going to charge me? And that's when I thought, okay, you know what? I am ready to charge people now.
Yeah.
Before that, no, people like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But our time was really meaningful. But no one said, how much are you going to charge for it? So I couldn't justify charging at that point. Only when someone said it. And then now I have ongoing clients that I work with on a regular basis. But that's how I got started.
Yeah. Well, question for you is like, what do you think, like you said, it was maybe the first 50 that no one was kind of asking you for ongoing coaching, but what do you think was the tipping point? Like what was the change in the second 50? Was it that like maybe you improved your skills and now people were seeing you as like a coach more so than in the beginning?
Yeah, it's me. It's 100% me. It's me growing. In the beginning, I just I had a lot of knowledge. I read a lot of books and I did some courses, but I didn't have any practical hands-on experience. And I wasn't getting people results. And yes, I again, it was a great experience. It was good. But I think it came to a point that they're like, yeah, it was good. It was a good experience, but am I going to really pay to see her again? I think it was just me getting better. And Yeah, I think that's what it came down to. And of course, there's like different characteristics too. Maybe people were just not ready at
Hmm.
that time. You know, there's like a small percentage of people like they just can't afford my services. I don't know what it is, but I don't really focus on stuff like that because I have no control over it. So I
Hmm.
can it's me getting better, and then me going in there and really understanding people, and it just comes with time. Honestly, it's just practice
Yeah.
and educating yourself and being critical towards yourself, getting mentors. Like you had a mentor, I have a mentor. I have
Hmm.
Evan who trains me, and he works with me because I will always like break down what has happened, and then he helps me there, and getting other mentors as well in your industry, so it helps.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good. That's just one question, Sean.
Yeah.
That was a really good, that was a really good question.
That's-
Actually, give a shit. My God, we have like 4 questions today. Okay, this is okay. This question is so controversial and interesting to me. There has been a rise of people who are doing intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And fasting, I've heard people fast for like 3 days and they're still lifting weights and all that. So, can you kind of clear the air and explain what that's all about?
Okay. So intermittent fasting, there's a lot of different approaches. Like you mentioned, there are some long fasts. So people will do like 24 hours, 48 hours, like extremely long periods of not eating. And then
Hmm.
there are shorter ones. So there's like people will do daily like an 8 hour fast. So there's just like an 8 hour window where they just don't eat. And then there's 16 hours, 10 hours. There's like a bunch of different ones. Um, the reason why people do it is because one, it helps people lose weight. I think
Oh,
that's the main reason.
okay.
There are a lot of benefits. There can be a lot of benefits to fasting, such as like growth hormone increases as a response to the lack of food, which is a beneficial hormone for body fat
Mhm.
recovery and things like that. So I think the reason that most people do it, first and foremost, is in an attempt to lose weight. The people who are doing it like uh, in the masses are doing it as a diet because they've heard that intermittent fasting helps them lose weight. And then the secondary ones are trying to get the hormonal benefits out of it.
Mhm.
Um, realistically, um, it's just another approach to how you're eating. So the reason why people lose weight is because at the basis of every diet, no matter what diet you're eating, the only way that you're going to lose weight is if your body is burning more calories than you're consuming. So if you're taking large periods of your day or week where you are refusing to eat, then obviously your caloric intake is probably going to be lower. And
Mhm.
and that's why people lose weight. It's not that like there's something magical about the fasting protocol,
Mhm.
more so that the calories are reduced from these periods of not eating or restricting your food. So what I do, like we have people at the gym who have either tried it before or want to try it, or for whatever reason they're doing it at the current moment. Um, I never really tell people to do it or not to do it. It's more of, does it fit with your lifestyle? If you're someone who like is really busy at work and like it's easy for you to just go like a certain block of time without eating. So let's say you eat dinner last night at 8 p.m. and then you have early work and you're so busy that you don't really eat until I don't know 12 the next day, then there's already a big block of fasting. Technically, you're doing intermittent fasting
Mhm.
without like actually saying that you're doing it. So I
Yeah.
have days where I don't eat for long periods simply because I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I don't do it on purpose. It's just that's how my day goes. So for those people who have days like that, that could work and it fits with your lifestyle. But if someone who's like constantly hungry all the time, has a lot of time to eat and are used to eating 5 meals a day or whatever, I would not recommend that they do it
Mhm.
because there's nothing magical about it. It's just it won't work for your lifestyle and you're going to put more stress on your body than you need to.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, thank you for clearing the air because there's just like been so much stuff going on, and there was one of my friends, she brought it up and she says, "Oh, I don't eat past a certain time because I'm doing intermittent fasting." I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I do intermittent fasting without even realizing, and like like today, I don't have time to eat, so I'm not going to eat till like 4 o'clock
Yeah.
after I'm done like my last interview. Okay, so it's really just to restrict your calories, and if you could do it in another way that fits your lifestyle better, that's probably
Yeah.
better for you.
It's just a tool to
Okay.
use. Right.
Mm, okay. Good. Good. Well, thank you, Sean.
Mhm.
Okay, the third. This one. This one is an interesting. I like this question. Is it better to first lose body fat then build muscle, or both at the same time?
Okay. It depends on where you're starting from. So if
Okay.
you're already pretty lean, and pretty lean means like your body fat percentage is like in a lean range. So that's probably like 10 to 12, 15 for guys. And for ladies, it's probably like in the low to mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So not that you don't take up it's not like about the amount of space that you take up in your clothes, which people confuse for being lean. It's like how much body fat do you actually have on your body? If you're already on the leaner end, then I would say not to focus on losing any more fat, and you can probably focus on building muscle. And then once you start to come out of that lean range, put on a little bit extra body fat, then you can go back to losing some body fat and just alternate those two things. If you're like most people in the average body fat range, which is like considered a little bit high for building muscle, my suggestion is to lose fat first as your main goal,
Mm.
because you can't, once you pass a certain range of body fat, it actually becomes more difficult to build muscle.
Okay.
You're more likely to build a lot of, like, put on a lot of fat in your effort to build muscle. But if you bring your body fat down, your body becomes more efficient and it's easier for you to build muscle rather than put on fat. So in that situation, I would get you lean first. And then now that your body is in a better environment to build muscle, then we can focus on that and just alternate back and forth.
So when you talk about get me lean, so of course with the calorie intake, and
Mm-hmm.
would you steer me away from lifting weights or lift lighter weights or do cardio? How would you?
Uh, we would have you lift a lot of weights. So a lot of weights, diet, and then cardio we would use kind of as a method to keep it going. So initially I might not put any cardio in,
Okay.
correct your diet, have you start lifting weights. That's going to have you start dropping body fat, building a little bit of muscle. And then
Mm-hmm.
start to stagnate, or if it starts to slow down, then I use cardio as a tool to keep it going.
Oh, okay. 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 I gotcha. Okay. So when you build muscle, it's just you're just gonna keep piling on the weight to build
Yeah. So like,
bigger muscles.
yeah, we always make it a goal to make everyone, no matter what your goal is, to make you stronger. So we're just
Mm.
going to keep adding weights, adding reps here and there, and adding sets, and like you're naturally going to build more muscle because of like the increased demands on your body. So, but ladies or anyone in general shouldn't be afraid of like adding more weight to the bar. So we try to do that all.
Okay. 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 Sounds good. All right. Good. And then the last one. This one is actually my question for you. I saw one
Yeah.
of your videos on your channel where you talked about how you lost motivation. And I remember when you posted on your Facebook page, I think at the time we weren't really communicating too much, so I didn't actually reach out to you. But I remember seeing it as like, wow, this is so incredible. Here he is. He is a fitness trainer, and the vulnerability in that, like for you to step out and say, I lost my motivation to train.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that sometimes because I guess people call me a motivational speaker. There are times that I don't have a lot of motivation. And then it's like, how do I reach out to people?
Mhm.
First, I want to commend you for doing that, because that takes a lot of courage to go
Oh,
out there and say, I lost my motivation. Meanwhile, you're the guy who motivates others. And
mhm.
then just like the outpour of people writing in comments for you and trying to help you out. I
Yeah.
thought that was amazing. So I want to talk to you about that. Like maybe
Mhm.
talk to you about, what drove you to actually make it public? And then second, how did you regain it back? Because obviously, that was a little while ago. You have regained your motivation now.
Mhm. Um, I think I wasn't actually expecting that many people to comment. I think there's like hundreds of comments. I was very surprised at the support that people provided. I It's something that I go through. I think everyone goes through it, like a lack of motivation. And I think I was in a little bit of a rut with my own training. I set, I don't know, my standards for my own training pretty high. So it's the higher your standards are for training, even if you're still doing well, it's going to seem like you're not doing that great. So
Mhm.
that's kind of how I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
So I figured I would post on Facebook and just see like what people could suggest, maybe something I wasn't doing, and we had hundreds of comments. And I think one of the main things that got me motivated was to see all these people like supporting me and commenting. So that I think that was like one of the main things. But I took a few pieces from there, which I've been doing every so often since then, and they've been working. So I think the main thing for me is like changing, breaking the pattern
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I'll pick something else to focus on. Not that I'm not being productive, but just changing my focus. And I think with business too, it's like you're spinning your wheels and you just keep like hammering at the same wall. You just got to like do something else, and you'll realize sometimes that the thing that you were doing is not as important as you thought it was,
Yeah.
and just changing your perspective and
Mhm.
like giving yourself a break kind of renews my motivation to like
Mhm.
attack it again.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way. And I think for me, what it is that I'm naturally creative. I have a very creative personality, and when I'm like you're saying, like you're always like going at it and you're not changing your perspective, I find it really hard to keep my motivation too.
Mm.
What I do is in that situation, I will reach out to people, see if people have any suggestions, and I have a great network of people that are very supportive. And then the other thing I do is take a small break and do something creative. Like I'm a dancer. I think you still dance, sort of.
Haven't in a while, but yeah, kind of on and off.
I don't know. I don't know. We want to see Sean back at TDS dancing again. What happened?
Yeah, I know. We're just so busy. It's like so busy. You don't have time when it's time to dance. It's like, do I want to get up right now and go dance?
And your wife dances. Andrea dances too. You guys could like dance easily in your living room, but you don't
I
do it.
know. True.
I know. Yeah. What was my point? Oh yeah, I do something creative. So I would take a dance class, or I would just like freely dance, or even go to a museum to kind of help me with my creativity. Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, you feel like you're trying to find an answer and you're kind of like beating it to death, but the answer might be something else. So changing
Mhm.
perspective is important. I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
for sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, Sean, before we go?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. All right. You're home today, right?
I'm home today until evening. Yes. So
Until evening. What are your plans for the rest of the day?
work, do lots of work, and I'm taking a little bit of a break watching Stranger Things. If you've ever seen that show.
I have. I have. I saw it last season. This season, I haven't really watched any of it.
Okay, I'm like a little over halfway, so I may finish that and then do a lot of computer work. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sean. And we're going to be back here again next week with more fitness Well, you know what? Today was more like Sean giving life advice. So it could be fitness and life advice
Yes.
next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.